Hello. This is a little bit difficult for me to make right now because I'm not feeling the best right now. I'm not feeling too amazing. Um, I'm in a weird state of mind, but I wanted to talk about something that I've been doing, something that I've been using to help keep track of certain things for myself, and I'm I just wanted to talk about that today because now we're at the end of January, so I've had a full month to be doing this. So what this is that you're looking at is a mood tracker that I have created. I've made this myself along with the help of my partner. So I made this last year because I was starting to track a lot of things um, to try and figure out where I was, like what I was feeling, and try to see if if I could try to figure out when I was feeling down or feeling good, and I wanted to see if things are really bad, like if it's a constant thing, or seeing if there's patterns to my mood. And one thing I really wanted to see is if, when looking back at a period of time, sometimes you can get to the end of a week or the end of a month and you think, man, I've had a really shit week or a shit month. And I wanted to see if, when I felt like that, if it was real, Um, so that's kind of why I've made this, and I'm able to categorize certain things, and I'm learning along the way how things feel, like what kind of comes under each number. So essentially, what I do is I assign a number to each day, and there is not a range, there's not a defined range to that number, but the current range I have is 1 to 8, and I will talk about that a little bit more soon to explain what each of those numbers means or how they mean to me. So I wanted to just look at these and, and explain it, and I'll explain it from the middle downwards and then upwards, because essentially there are certain numbers, certain moods, certain feelings that I feel more confident about. I feel um, more capable of defining what those feelings are, what that number represents. So I'll start with the number 5. As we can see here on the 2nd of January, we were a 5, and I've had a lot of 5s throughout January, and this I would say is good, especially here, this period at the end of the month. I'll talk a bit more about that after I explain the numbers, but these 5s I categorise as good, which is an interesting observation for me. Um, so 5 is defining just the feeling of being content. Um, Things are okay. Nothing, nothing bad is particularly happening within my brain, within my mood, but nothing obviously good. No feelings of happiness and joy. It's just being okay with everything. You still have like motivation and feelings that you can do things. You're just getting on with the day. Like I imagine a lot of people most days going to work each day have that feeling. And I get up and I go do a few things, and it's a simple day. I get tasks done, and I come home and I play some games or something. That's just a regular day, feeling okay. Um, so then I said I was going to count down, so that's what we're doing. We'll see here. I have a 4 written here, and I've had 5 4s throughout this month, which is good. So 4s are a general feeling of depression. So just you have low mood. You're not feeling good. motivation's kind of going. It's difficult to push through. Like everything feels a bit harder to do. But just the general feeling of depression. Nothing too extreme. You just feel crap. So I had 5 days here, and I can probably, if I really think about it, I can probably remember what was going on those days. Especially here, this 3-day period was pretty difficult, like really difficult. Um, but it's helped to be able to categorize these feelings. So then, next up, I'm going to use here in March an example. So we'll start here. We've looked at 5, and as you can see, that's color coded with a light green. We've had a 4, which is color coded with a kind of a faded dull blue. Next up is a 3, which is a darker blue. So a 3 is where I categorize. It's difficult for me to categorize certain things because of the way that I experience depression, and each person will have a different experience with this, different feelings. But 3 is where I categorize. I'm feeling like dread. The world is too heavy. It's crushing me, and it's very difficult to really motivate or do anything. And this is where temptations to drink alcohol come in a lot more. And you're kind of just feeling hopeless. You feel you just have this general feeling that you can't do anything to improve anything. The world is just terrible, and you can't do anything about it. And like, without feeling feelings of wanting to harm myself, so something I've been very fortunate, or I don't know how to categorize it. I would say I'm lucky in that sense that I don't get feelings of self-harm when I'm depressed. I don't feel like hurting myself because I don't want to feel pain physically, but other people do. And without feeling that, that's maybe where I suspect self-harm would come in here. But then, because I don't feel feelings towards that, like I don't get temptations to hurt myself, I I don't know if it is here. So maybe if you were to do something similar, you might categorize that feeling of self-harm differently. But that's where I think I would categorize that. Next up, we have a 2. So a 2, like again in this 3, maybe you start feeling thoughts of suicide. That could come in there, but like very light thoughts. Like maybe your thoughts go so dark and deep that you just kind of go, "I wish I was dead," kind of thing, but not really contemplating it. Just saying, "I wish I was." Whereas a two is where you make that next gap, that jump. A 2 is when you feel like you want to kill yourself, where um, you just you're actually thinking about it, and when you go, say, onto a balcony, you have those thoughts like come into your mind without you even thinking about it, without without needing to think about it. Your body's like, I could just jump off that and end it. That would deal with that would do it. That's where a 2 sits for me, is that feeling of I could do that and I want to. And then a 1, which is currently a very dark blue. You can't even see the number really because of the way that this is done. This is a work in progress. I hope to update it over time. But the 1 is where you're really gonna do it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you actually are gonna action it. But say you go somewhere with the intention of killing yourself, with wanting to commit suicide, or maybe this is where like really bad cases of self-harm or behaviors like that come in. You're unable to control anything in life at this point, and you're just like, I just want to end it, you know, I just want to finish things off. And yeah, that's where a 1 is for me. And I'm able to categorize these from my own personal experience like this because I know what these feel like. I know what these feelings feel like, and I'm able to categorize and identify the differences between these feelings. I've thought about it enough, I've experienced it enough to know this area here has stages. So this example here, the 19th, 20th, and the 21st of January. I mean, I remember exactly what this is, right? So Sunday the 18th, I was having an okay day. I had moments of happiness, I had moments of sadness. It was kind of somewhere in between. It was a bit all over the place. So it was kind of hard to categorize this one because I had feelings on of 4, 5, and 6 that day. So I stuck with 5 because that was the main feeling. But in the evening that day was when I was quite depressed and I decided to have alcohol. That led to me to have a bad day on the 19th. This was a Monday. I felt like shit. The alcohol had obviously pushed me to have depression feelings, and I couldn't do anything. And I was really struggling to push through. And I did manage to push through in this week and make a video during this period. And that 4 feeling persisted for 3 days. So this was Wednesday the 21st, I do believe. So the 21st was a Wednesday, yeah, 100%. Wednesday the 21st. And I was still having a bad day. But the Thursday the 22nd was the day that I finished my video, and I was feeling good. I felt accomplished, and the depression feeling had gone away, and I was able to just push through, and I had a really, really good day. I felt good, I felt happy, I felt confident, and I was able to get through. And the reason I'm bringing up this week here is because this was a really good week beforehand. This 7-day period here that you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, was a very good week. I was happy Monday, and I was happy Saturday. This Sunday, nothing happened. I was having an okay day. I did some work, I did some editing, and then in the evening, my mood just slipped off a cliff. And there was no trigger for it, there was no reason for it. I didn't feel like there was anything that happened, and I couldn't explain it. It was like there's a happiness tax, and I was no longer allowed to feel happy. So my brain put me into a 4. And that's why I wanted to track this, because I wanted to see, like, if something happens, does that then push me in to this? So I should finish explaining the numbers. So then we have 6. A 6 is feelings of happiness and joy. You know, when you're having a good day, you're getting a lot done, you feel accomplished, you feel like you've done a lot, you feel happy, you feel like you've achieved something. It's very good, this feeling. And you know, feeling a 6 is incredible to me. Those days are so good. You feel good in yourself, you feel confident about what you're doing, the work you're doing. And these days where I have a 6 are notable which days they are. This is New Year's Day. I had a good day. Things were good, you know. Just had a nice New Year with friends and stuff like that. 1st of January was good. I wasn't hungover, I didn't feel like shit, and things were really good. These 2 days here, so I flew back from the UK on the 3rd, back in Berlin, spending some time with my partner, feeling confident about how things are going to go, feeling motivated about the future. My partner flies this day, she leaves to go travel, so I'm just getting through. Like, I didn't feel sad, like, obviously I felt sad that she was going, but I didn't feel depressed, I didn't feel immobile. I was still motivated, had confidence about what the future was going to hold. But it was just an okay day. Same here, you know, next day feeling I'm now starting to ramp up stuff. And this day here, the 9th, yeah. So this is interesting actually. So that video came out on the 11th, but clearly I was making stuff happen here. I do believe I did a lot of writing that day, but I was clearly making progress with content. I can't actually explain why I felt like a 4 that day on the 11th when that video came out, but that's fine. There's a bit of chaotic patterning going to this, but yeah, I felt good that day. I felt good this day because that video got a good response in my opinion, and then there was also I do believe I released a short over that period, and that then did well, and people had seen it and commented, and I was feeling good. Like this 6 was like oh my god, like things are good. Like I feel like I can do this. This is good, and that carried me through this week, and I was good, motivated, did a lot of stuff there. Anyway, back to the board of colours and numbers. A 7. I've not really felt this much, and a 7 is an extremely good feeling. It's really difficult for me to categorize this, to express what this feels, but I would say the days that have made me feel like this from memory, probably like my wedding day when we had the big party. That was an incredible day. You know, you're extremely happy. Things are just so good. You're having such a good time. Things feel like, I don't know, like they couldn't get better. You know, I can't categorize something more than that, at least from experience, because a 7 in my recent memory, from what I can remember, is probably the highest my mood has ever been. Which feels a little bit unfair because, you know, I can categorize 4 numbers below being content. I can categorize this is bad. This is me feeling bad, and I know all the stages of badness. I know all the stages of sadness. I then know what content feels like. I know what a 5 is, just the middle of the road. Not bad, not good. 6, happiness, feel good. Just generally feeling happy about life, or like that day in general. 7, incredibly high feelings of happiness, feeling so overjoyed. You know, and then that leads to the final number on the scale, as it is the 8, which the 8 I've never felt. I don't know what this is, but it's there because I feel like there must be something higher than a 7. That's how it feels to me. I feel like there must be something higher than a 7. But I can't tell you what that might be, what that feeling is, or how to categorize anything above the 6 accurately, because I just don't feel those feelings. As you can see on this scale, most days I'm having 5s. I'm having good periods of 5s, and especially these first 10 days I was having a really good time. I had one sad day, more good times. And this is a really good month. This is a really good month. Which feels crazy to say, because here at the bottom you can see I've got an average. An average which just categorizes, can I look at this and say I've had a good month or a bad month? Has it really been that good or that bad? And everything is color coded in this way to help kind of depict how these feelings do look, you know, because when in English especially we use the term feeling blue for depression. Like you feel blue, you're feeling depressed. So that's why I've got blue here, and it scales up in intensity. So I decided green would be the feeling of positivity, because I feel like green is quite a positive color. We think of, you know, grass as being green, trees and leaves, you know, peacefulness kind of feels like it's a green color. Green is also, I think, considered the color of love sometimes, you know. These are positive things, so I thought green is a good way to show it. I'm not a big fan of this crazy, like, fluorescent green, but that's just how it is at the moment. So yeah, this like week, so I didn't make a video to come out yesterday on Saturday, because I didn't have motivation. But this is where things are a bit of a strange one, and I will explain it with how all of this last week is, because if I didn't have motivation, I wasn't feeling good enough to do things, then that's a 4, right? That's where I'm saying 4 is, because it's a feeling of depression. But actually what happened was I could feel the depression coming back in. So the 25th was the Sunday, And it's funny how it seems to be a Sunday where I get these feelings. But Sunday, I was feeling bad. I felt depressed. I do believe I had a bottle of wine that day. And then this week, I didn't want to socialise, essentially. I had to pull myself away. My friends had asked a couple of times for me to play games, but I didn't want to. And I've just been playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord on my own. I've had myself offline on everything just to, you know, get myself into an okay space, and it's worked. We can see that this has worked. I've pulled myself away from the social stress that my brain was suffering from, and I've been content each day. I don't feel unmotivated as such that I can't do anything. Yeah, I do get crippling procrastination at times in this period, and right now, like today, making this video became really hard, but I've managed to push through, and I've been able to do it. You know, I'm making this video right now, and I'm going to finish it up, and it's going to release today. I didn't do anything, and I've got a scheduling calendar now, and it's the most empty it's looked since I've had it, because I didn't want to put pressure on myself. I could feel I didn't want to speak to people, I didn't want to meet with people, like, or I didn't want to play with people. I just wanted to play on my own, immerse myself in my own little world, and just escape. And that's not to say I haven't been social. Like yesterday, I met up with somebody, and we hung out. On Friday, I went to a bar and hung out with some friends. It's these things. Like I've been okay, and but like I've been okay, but I've not been able to do any creativity, nothing like that. It's just been gone. I've been a little bit bored here and there, but I pulled myself away so that I could be in my own space and just there's no noise, there's no background pressure, there's no anything. And I've been okay with it. And yesterday, I waited for yesterday to finish, and I've entered this as a 5, and it's okay. And today, I won't enter today, 1st of February. I won't enter like what that number is yet because I'm not confident on it yet. Maybe it's a 4, maybe it's a 5, but I have not been feeling amazing. Like I haven't been feeling particularly great today, but again, I think today is probably the first day that I've not gone out and done anything, and maybe I will still go on my daily walk today, but it feels a little bit unlikely at this point, which is a shame, but this is part of the learning curve. Is I don't want to pressure myself because the pressure is overwhelming at times, and I just need to flow and get through all of these things. So, with all of these done and explained, I want to show a particular period of time to kind of explain why I'm saying this is a really good month that I've just had. This here is, if you were to have come to me this time last year and said that I could have a 5 after having a fight with cancer, being told I might die, and after the year that I had previous to that, to be coming out of here with a 5 on average throughout the month is incredibly good. So let's just look at something. Let's imagine we are in 2024. So 2025 I won't talk about because it's the cursed year. My November probably looked much more like this. And there's no pattern to this, like I'm not doing this out of pure memory because I remember exactly how I was feeling in that period, but this is probably how that month looked. I don't remember if there's 30 or 31 days in November. I'm not perfect with this kind of crap, but we'll do 31 anyway. That's probably how that November 2024 looked because I was in an incredibly depressed state. I was struggling with a lot of things, and this would have been very similar across every other month. You know, Maybe there's a couple of fives in there, you know, December, maybe there's a five, excitement for Christmas, but, you know, depression sinks in, coming back up, you know, September, you know, not many happy days. This is how that looks. This is how it was looking. And you see on this average here, we're able to see this was a bad period of time. This was a really bad period of time. But yeah, as you can see, this was a bad period of time. I'm experiencing very low points, even a 1 at some point here, and many 2s in there. And that 3 was a constant. So that's why I'm saying this is a really good month. Even though 5 is not a good feeling, like when you really describe what the 5 represents, it represents being content, which in a way is positive, but it's not. It's like, you know, if you're rating how good something is, 1 being bad, 10 being amazing, and you say 5, it's like, okay, it's average, it's okay, it's in the middle of the park, you know, and that's where the 5, that's why I chose 5 originally, it's the middle of the park, you're feeling okay, but in the world that I live in the mindset that I live in, a 5 is amazing. The absence of depression, the absence of dread, feelings of negative emotions is blissful. It's peaceful. It's a wondrous place to be. And then these feelings of 6 feel like I'm high on drugs. You know, they feel like drug days. Because I can't imagine having those days on a regular basis. How can somebody sit down? I can't imagine having a month that looks like this. Imagine having a month where every day was a 6. I can't imagine what that feels like, because that kind of month just doesn't exist to me. And it can't exist to me. That's what it feels like. It just doesn't feel like I could ever achieve that. And that's where I am with the level of depression I experience and the way that my mood goes. So why am I showing this off? Why am I showing this? It's because so I wanted to show this to kind of explain to people why I track this kind of thing and how to visualize where I am each day. And I've got some friends who I've told about this, and some friends who already know about this system that I use. And a good friend of mine, he recommended an app that he uses to essentially track your mood, and it helps you figure certain things out. My mum, I remember when I first made this all that time ago, she suggested this thing. I can't remember what this means, but it's essentially another way of scaling. How was today? How can I make it better? Whereas on my scale, I'm not looking to figure out how to make things better. I'm just tracking. This is how I felt that day, and like, what did I feel this day? Okay, I know that's a 4, or I know that's a 5, I know that's a 6, and it's helping me communicate easily, especially with my friend Tim. I can say to him I'm a 4 today, and he knows where I'm at. You know, I'm a 5 today, I'm a 6 today. He knows where I'm at, and it's quite nice to be able to do that without having to say, "Oh man, the whole day is crap. Everything's feeling bad," or "I've had a really good day. I did this, I did that." You know, sometimes you don't have the time or the energy to explain all of this. Like, I'm able to convey my mood to somebody without effort, without energy, and he knows where I'm at. And it doesn't matter if he then says, "Oh, hey man, how's it? Like, what's up? Like, is there anything I can do?" He's just able to look there and go, "Zach's not feeling too good today. I feel you, brother. I'm sorry you feel that way." You know, because we all have these days, and we all have days where we feel bad. If you don't have days where you're ever a 4, then fucking God bless you or something. You know, all the blessings upon you, because I wish I could have a whole month of just 5s. A whole month where I just feel like a 5. Instead of having a weird Sunday where I suddenly feel like a 4 at the end of it, and that puts me down for 3 days in a row. I wanted to talk about this for a long time, but I wanted to wait to have like a full month to really talk about it, to kind of express what this means and show it properly. And this is a study that I'm doing for myself, just to figure it out and share. Maybe other people can make something similar. I'm gonna, like, in the long run, I want to make this better. But yeah, I hope you understand that. This is a good way for me to express like what I'm going through at the moment. But yeah, I want to refine this, make it better, and if everything goes well one day, then maybe I can adapt it into something that I can give out to people. But for now, this is a self-study, a self-project, something I want to see for myself, figure out, you know. So thank you for watching. This is actually quite a long little recording, so I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I feel like it's going to be a longer one. So if you've stuck around all the way to now, then I appreciate the fuck out of you. I think you're a real one, you know. And right now, you know, I'm quite emotional. That's why I think today maybe is a 4, but we'll see. I'm just trying to get through each day and live my life. So peace to you all. Have a wonderful Sunday or a Monday or whenever you're watching this. Morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night. Have a good day, and I hope that things always improve for you. Goodbye.